Hey everybody, this is Will Jones from Stone Circle Games. Today we're going to be reviewing the Order of the Stick adventure game, The Dungeon of Dorukan. Let's get into it. The Order of the Stick adventure game is a combat-oriented exploration game centering around the characters of the titular Order of the Stick universe. When the game starts, each character takes on the mantle of a Dungeons & Dragons parody character from the comics and delves into a dungeon that roughly mirrors the first 100 or so strips from the comic. I gotta say, this game was really disappointing to me. I'm a huge Order of the Stick's comic fan, and this game in no way held up to the kind of quality that I expected. We're looking at two major problems here. One, it's really overlong, and two, it's really unbalanced. There are different ways to adjust the length of the game. The longest one is what they call in the rulebook the weekend killer, and it's supposed to take 7 or more hours, which is obviously a lot. I found, though, that even shorter versions of the game can knock on that ceiling. My game night usually will start at 7 o'clock in the evening, and if we can't get through one iteration of your game in the entire game night, it is too long. Then, of course, there's the game balance. This is an asymmetric game because you're playing as one of the characters from Order of the Stick, Roy, Haley, Varsuvius, etc., and each of them have their own abilities, and actually each character has their own deck, which is kind of a nice touch. The power curves, though, are all over the place. I can't imagine anyone winning with Varsuvius, for example. He/she is just wildly underpowered. The exact ways in which a character is under or overpowered sort of sneaks up on you oddly. In the Varsuvius example from a second ago, Varsuvius is actually really good at killing enemies, just throwing out lightning bolts and fireballs, but he almost never gets a loot because he's not right there next to them to pick it up. He attacks from range. Loot, as it turns out, is really important to getting ahead in this game. So there are times when you feel like you should be getting ahead more than you are, and then you go, well, am I just playing the game wrong? And then after a couple playthroughs, you realize, no, there's really no good way around that. The Order of the Stick was a pretty goofy, laughable kind of comic when it first started, and you sort of expect this game to have that flair. And the game does try. There's some great art throughout the game with jokes and gags and little throwbacks to the comics that you can really enjoy throughout the game. The flavor and the art do a really good job of capturing the joy of the comic. However, the rules and mechanics do not. This is the rulebook. It is 32 pages long. Even the cheat sheet version, that's like the quick setup rules to teach you in just a second, is 6 pages long. Even the list of icons and symbols that you need to learn is as long as something that is really long. I mean, defense modifier, attack modifier, shtick range, battle results, area results, boost effect, flip when used, attack value, all these different races. The different flags mean different things. It just gets overwhelming. And look, I'm a deep strategy kind of guy. I love super complex games that take hours. But you need to have rules that are a little bit more clear than these are. What exactly happens at different times when, oh, I'm shooting this far down the hall, but I've got these modifiers and somebody else is in the way, and I get this loot from it if it works, and they can retaliate against me because they have range. It just gets deeper and deeper and deeper. Look, I would love to say that this thing is a worthy adaptation of the comic into board game form, and that we can all just be happy and laugh about it and bond over these wonderful stories and hilarious characters. But it just ain't so. There are some expansions that have come out which are supposed to reduce game time, help clarify things, help balance, increase the fun factor. But this game already has a pretty steep price tag, and I think it's a little disingenuous to do what a lot of video games are doing right now, and that's require DLC, additional content, before you can even get the base game working how it should have worked in the first place. All in all, this is a game for novelty's sake. You pick it up because you love the Order of the Stick or because the art style just intrigues you, but you're going to put it down 2 hours later and go, I got what I needed out of that. The Order of the Stick is a deep, entertaining universe, and I would love to be able to engage with it in board game form, but in this case, you find yourself just clouded by all these rules, distracted by all these bad mechanics, and you just can't really lock in with it like you want. If you happen to be at a game store or at a die-hard fan's house, you've got the time and you want to give it a playthrough, go for it. But until then, I wouldn't lose any sleep over having not played it. Well, that's about it for me. Thanks so much for watching. Go ahead and click below to like and subscribe for more great content from Stone Circle Games. And until then, Have fun around the table.